Hey everybody, we have a stacked show on Sports Central. Jessica Garrett and Dr. Michelle Henne talking about Light Up the Night 5K. We have Gene Engle, Hall of Famer, talking about the Orange Cup Regatta, and Jack Cormier with a little surprise. We'll be right back with this edition of Sports Central. Hey everybody, welcome to Sports Central. I'm Mark Jackson, at least I think I am. This guy here is Hank Longo.
Hello, sports fans out
I've never started a show like that before, have you?
And we've had like 500 shows, I think.
30 years of broadcasting or whatever I've done, and it's this one of those things,
So
everybody.
we got something new for the little bleeper roll or blooper roll, whatever. You can't even say that right. Bleepers. and
Rough day,
bloopers.
well, it's cool out. I've got my Wisconsin tuxedo on,
Yeah,
so
and we're ready for the
just
show.
ready to
And
go.
the Trophy Shop, our sponsor, this first segment of Sports Central. So thank you so much. And so you kind of had a big day yesterday, hanging out with the Tigers and being Mr. Big League and getting to play some golf. That tournament that we have
I
every
wasn't
year.
being Mr. Big League. I was just happy to be
Part of the show, huh?
you know, Joe Commoner in the background, having a good time and making sure everything ran smoothly.
And
you know, you
great-
look at this week, though, Hank.
Great partnership.
You know, Lakeland Chamber, Jackie Johnson did a wonderful job with the Tigers Barbecue on Thursday night, welcoming the Tigers back officially for spring training for the 84th year, believe it or not.
Isn't that amazing?
It's unbelievable.
What
And
a
then, of course,
partnership.
yesterday, the Major League Scramble. It was our 25th year. We started that at Greenleaf with the Kansas City Royals, Cleveland Indians, and, of course, brought the Tigers in a little bit later on.
What a great event.
Well, we've got two superstars to talk with
We do.
tonight.
Go ahead,
We've got
take
more
it
than
away.
one. We've got 4 of them.
Yeah, it was a great show today.
Stack show.
Stack show.
Stack show.
You're going to love it.
At least that's what I said at the opener.
At the opener.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That's not bad. We're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
It couldn't go downhill from this point on, but right now we're hanging in there. So please introduce our guest for the first segment.
Hey everybody, there's some great races here in Polk County, and Polk County really is becoming Florida's hub for running and endurance races. One of those races is the Junior League of Greater Winter Haven Light Up the Night 5K, and it has been going on for a long time. It's for a great cause, a great organization, but it's really a fun race because it's at night. Here to tell us all about it, I already know a lot about it. You do too, because you kind of hosted it with me one year.
Yeah, we did one year.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Downtown Winter Haven. Yeah.
Anyway, we still haven't gotten to these two beautiful ladies. Dr. Michelle Henne from Releve Orthopedic Medical Clinic.
Yep, Releve Sports Medicine. You got it.
If you ever wonder where that is, it's right above the wine bar in Winter Haven. Great expectation.
I just know, I guess you're right. I haven't been there, so I didn't really know.
And to her right, to your left on your television viewing screen, looking very scholarly with those glasses, is Jessica Garrett from CNP, but she's also a junior leaguer in Winter Haven. Ladies, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us. Hank and I always enjoy, covering this event. This is really a fun event. And let's start out with the first things first. What's the date this year?
So the date this year is March 6th. So that's going to be a Friday coming up here very shortly.
In a couple weeks.
In a couple weeks at 7 p.m.
At 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
in downtown Winter Haven.
In downtown Winter Haven. So we'll take off from the BB&T parking lot. If you don't know where that is, a really good point of reference is Grove Roots Brewery. It's going to be right next to Grove Roots.
Okay.
Well, Hank and I are teetotal. We don't, imbibe in those type of adult beverages. Straight arrows. And so, BB&T Bank, it's moved this year because it used to be right by the library.
Correct. Yeah, so the nice thing about moving it is for many runners, what do you want to do? You want to be able to park your car, get to the race start, you run down the race, you get to the race finish, and your car's still there. So previously we did used to start by the library, and what would happen, you start by the library, you end at Grove Roots, and now you're trying to carpool back to your car, and then when do you get your award, because everybody runs really fast.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we
That's
did a
neat.
start and finish at the same spot. It's
So
an out
where are
and
they
back
all
route.
parking down there? At the B&T parking lot, or?
Yes, so there is parking there. There's parking at Grove Roots, and there's a
Egghaven.
lot of, yes.
There you go.
Egg Haven, yeah.
Yeah,
So
a
there's
lot
just
of-
a lot more ample parking space down there than there is if you
That's
take
a
off
big word,
at,
Hank.
at the chamber. What?
Ample parking space. That's kind of
Ample.
yeah. That's.
I've got quite a vocabulary.
Yeah,
Pay
I see
attention
that.
and you'll pick up on a few key words.
I'm just here to learn from you.
I'm glad to be the teacher. So anyhow, moving right along here. So how do you, when you do it at night, are there lights? What are you lighting up? What makes this so much fun?
Yeah, so we do allow, everyone can wear glow materials. We have a lot of our sponsors even put glow things into our bags. And some of these people, they come in dressed in all kinds of exciting glowing
Costumes?
costumes.
Very neon.
Yes.
Glowing, you know, like their personalities. Okay. Jessica, so you are an account executive with CNP, which
Yes.
is Polk's premier, marketing advertising agency, and great organization. How did you get involved in the Junior League and why?
Oh, that's a really great question. Actually, I'm born and raised right here in Polk County, grew up in Lake Wells. School actually took me away from here. I went to Richmond, Virginia for grad school, and then ended up at Walmart's home office in Bentonville, Arkansas.
Oh, wow.
And came back here and through Publix and then eventually through CNP. Love it at CNP. And I wanted to give back to the community that I grew up in. And that was one of my biggest things, is how many different organizations that fit me and what I love to do, that I can give back to the community that helped raise me and turn me into the person I am today. So I had a friend, Megan Gillis, who owned Spa Haven and Winter Haven, that was connected through the Junior League. I went to high school with her, reached out, and here I am today.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I like it.
Very nice.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Very nice.
Well,
So-
the Junior League itself, just expand a little bit about the purpose of the Junior League, because I think that's so important, particularly as, the female organization, but it doesn't stop there. You also are involved with kids.
Yes, in a couple different ways involved with kids, and like I said, just giving back to the community. One way, we do mobile food pantries. We have one coming up, and we have a couple more this year. We've helped serve over 1,500 people, over 700 of which are children.
Wow.
That's one way. We also do stork pile baskets for mothers in the community that don't have the necessities that they need. So whether it's diapers or bottles, we send them home with a basket of all the necessities. We also do Kids in the Kitchen and help kids make healthy snacks when they get home and teach them how to do that.
Like ants on a log.
Who doesn't love ants on a log? Yeah.
And I remember that.
Yeah, we
ants on
did.
a
We
log are
talked about
good.
it last year.
Ants on a log.
You don't know what ants on a log? It's a piece of celery
Celery.
with peanut butter in the groove, and then they put raisins on top of that. Looks like a log with ants on it. You know what I do?
Eat the peanut butter?
No, I use glazed pecans, and I put them in there.
That's even better.
Well, I kind of have a sweet tooth.
Oh.
Yeah, just like me.
So where do you make the food for the kids?
Well, a lot of that's going to be purchased, and then we supply it. And
Yeah, and we are coming up here, Community Fest in Winter Haven. We're going to be there, and every hour on the half hour, so 11:30, 12:30, 1:30, so on, we're going to be partnering with all of the children who are attending Community Fest and doing it right there on the spot.
Oh, wow.
That's
It'll be
good
a lot of fun. You can come out.
And this is on what date is the Community Fest?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Isn't it like
that
in 2
is-
weeks, I think?
it's
or-
coming up.
What is Community Fest?
It's in downtown Winter Haven.
It's in downtown Winter Haven, sponsored by the Chamber, and so you get a lot of the community organizations
Yeah.
coming together. There's booths, there's balloons, so there's a large variety, certainly, of activities for
going
people.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if somebody is still interested, they can get in because the date, March 5th. How do they get more information? What website? I mean, you're going to give them your personal cell phones. I mean, how do people sign up?
So if you want to register, you can go to active.com, and the registration is available there. We are expecting around 350 participants.
Wow.
The other place you can go to is our Facebook page.
Yes,
we have had
definitely
a
Facebook.
fantastic chair this year and chair-elect who have put out the most hilarious memes, if you're familiar with those, onto the Facebook page. Yes, about all these fun things, fun reasons to go run and participate in this great fundraiser.
Okay. So you can go to Facebook, Junior League of Winter Haven Facebook page, or you can go to active.com.
Yes.
That's correct. And then we also have the website.
Our Junior League website.
Junior League
has
website.
information.
That's what I was after. And what is that?
Oh, you can find out all kinds of information
Oh, I
on
bet
that.
we
You can find.
Who's been naughty and nice in Winter Haven?
Hey, you never know. You never know.
I know
But no,
I'm
you'll
on the
find
nice list.
Yeah, you'll find out about our board of directors, their positions and roles that they play, as well as all the different programs and information on all of the events coming up.
And that's the JLGWH. It's a mouthful. JLGWH
Junior
.org.
League of Greater Winter Haven.
There you go.
acronym.
Just
And so how much, if you want to still sign up and run, how much to join the event?
Yes, so it is after Valentine's Day. So prior to Valentine's Day, it was $25 per person. After Valentine's Day, it's now $30 per person. There are great discounts for our children as well as our seniors.
Okay, so
well, you qualify.
There you go. There you go, buddy. How did I know that was
You walked
You
into
know,
that
it's just
one.
a shocking surprise that you would think me of being an elder. Jeez, I'm glad at least they're not clogging me with Columbus and coming over in the boat or whatever.
That's coming.
Okay, yeah, we still have 2 more segments to go. So.
Well, ladies, wow, what a great event. I've been there. Is Sergeant David Keegan still involved from the Winter Haven Police Department?
He certainly is, and he would love for us to tell you that he has a race the following
Yes, he
weekend.
does.
And he certainly gets a very large conglomerate of people involved with that, raising money for the Winter Haven Police Department.
Yeah, he was directing traffic somewhere, and I just slowed down and I said, "Hey, Sergeant, how you doing?" He looked at me like, "You want a ticket? Keep moving." You know?
But before we let you go, we got to talk about the grant,
The what?
the $100 grant, the educational grant to the school with the
That's
most
right.
participants.
Yes. So when you're registering, when you go to active.com and you register there, the one thing that you can do, if you have an association, maybe you went to school with one of the schools in Winter Haven or anywhere in the county. If you went to one of the schools here and you want to show your support, or maybe your children go there, if you identify that school as part of your registration, what we do is we allot a $100 grant for the school with the most race participants.
Wow.
So last year, All Saints Academy won that award. So we'll see who wins it this year.
Okay.
Sounds great.
The drama continues.
Ladies, thanks so much for joining us.
Absolutely,
It
thank
was
you.
just
Always
an
a
honor and a
delight.
pleasure to have you in the same room as me. You know, of course.
It was an honor and a pleasure to be in the same room as you,
All
Mark.
right,
There you go.
and you're still skiing
That's right, still skiing
with the Cypress Garden ski team.
with the Cypress Gardens Wire ski team.
Sounds
good.
great. All right, ladies, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you at the race.
Thank you.
Okay. Hey, everybody. You know, it's like this time of year, the events never stop. Got running, endurance races, basketball, wrestling.
Weightlifting.
Yeah, it just
continues.
Yeah, and of course, spring training coming up, boat racing. The list is endless. However, we do have the Girls High School Basketball Championships coming to the RP Funding Center in the next few weeks. It's going to be an exciting time. We have some footage from 2019. Check this out. Hank and Mark, we'll be back with more Sports Central right after this.
Jack Cormier. Lakeland, our girls tournament is 6 days long. We start on a Monday. We have 6 games on Monday, then a championship game on Tuesday. We repeat for 3 different classifications on Wednesday and Thursday, and we come back Friday and Saturday. So the tournament itself is 6 complete days long. We start again early on Monday morning and go all the way through Saturday night. The Florida High School Athletic Association sponsors the Girls State Basketball Championship here in Lakeland each and every year. Teams qualify to come to the state championship by winning a district, then regional or sectional game. We have 9 different classifications this year, 1A rural through 9A, 4 teams from each classification. So we have 36 teams playing here in 27 different games in a fantastic tournament that Polk County and Lakeland do a fantastic job hosting us. The RP Funding Center and Lakeland have been hosting our tournament for quite some time now. Here in the state of Florida, we have a very big state, as you quite know. It's over 900 miles from Pensacola to Key West. We try to find a central location whenever we possibly can, and Lakeland happens to fit the bill for that. The RP Funding Center is a good venue. There's a seating capacity for, I think, 7 or 8, perhaps 9,000 people. Our fans enjoy coming here. The host committee has done a wonderful job having us here, and so we're very pleased to be here in Lakeland. For all the participants who come here, I know they are very excited to be able to represent their school. I had the opportunity when I was in high school to go to a state championship game also, and I'll never forget that experience. When our girls or boys leave a state championship, they will have, I hope, fond memories of the experience that they've had, and certainly it helps them grow to be young and mature, or more mature young adults. I really get a charge out of watching our student athletes play. It really doesn't matter to me whether it's girls sports or boys sports. I think educational-based athletics is a fantastic opportunity for young people to grow and mature. I have 2 daughters, both of them are athletes. I was an athlete, my wife was an athlete. We absolutely love the game, and it's a fantastic opportunity for fans, for student athletes, and for anyone to participate in that educational athletic experience.
Everybody, welcome back to Sports Central. Mark Jackson along with Hank Longo. You know, Hank, we've had just the opportunity to meet and visit with so many great, talented guests, and been involved in all facets of the sports industry.
Yeah,
it's just
it's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, when you think of all the years we've done this show, we started this show, I don't know how many years ago, and the people that we've had the fun and enjoyment of getting to chat with on the show, and one of our special guests, you know, coming up next, that's going to be a fun story. But we want to thank the folks at the Hampton Inn Lakeside Village for sponsoring our second segment of Sports Central.
Well, we were talking a little bit earlier about this being the 84th year of the Tigers spring training in Lakeland, Florida. 2 years after that, the second longest event ever in Polk County, 82 years, the Orange Cup Regatta. The gentleman sitting to my right, to your left, as soon as we get to that point, is Mr. Gene Engle, current member of the Polk County Sports Hall of Fame. Gene, your father, and welcome to the show, your father was the one that started the Orange Cup Regatta, and contrary to what Jackie Johnson says, no, you didn't start it.
And you were there to witness
That's
it.
right, because I was.
Well, she did do that. Right in front of a large crowd.
Oh, yeah.
She did call me afterwards and ask if I was upset with her, and I told her no, that I'd had worse than that from you. So, but no, actually, it started. This is our 82nd running, and it started actually 86 years ago. My father had to cancel it during World War II. Then I had to cancel it the early part of around 2000, 2001 because they were dredging Lake Hollingsworth and of course took all the water out. And,
Yeah, I remember
that's
that.
one of the requirements for a good boat race. So we had to cancel. So this is our 82nd year and we're very excited about it.
But really, 86 years is you know, in terms of longevity, that's
amazing.
unbelievable.
This just hit me, you know, as we were just starting to talk, and we're going back to, you know, 86 years when this all started. What would be fun to see is the boats that they had 86 years ago compared to the boats that they have today. And what was that like when, you know, back in the beginning, what kind of boats were they racing?
Careful, you're doing the
I
same
was
thing
gonna say the
Jackie
same
did.
thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you'd have historical pictures on it and stuff like that. I mean,
Well, based on the pictures I've
yeah,
seen,
that's
there
really
has been
what I
quite
was
a
going to say.
bit
I'm
of
not
change.
going to throw you under the bus like my buddy here was, but anyhow.
Yeah, no, we, somewhere I have some of those old pictures, and it's really interesting to see the boats were all wood. The engines on them, the pistons would come out. You'd have one on each side of them, and you know, the helmets they wore, the gear they wore. It's changed so much because, as I've said many, many times, safety is such an important thing.
Yes, exactly.
But back then, you were wide open. You were out, and then later they progressed with the driver's suits so that they would become like flak jackets, and you actually would wear shoes and pants and jackets to keep the props from cutting you up. And so it's progressed now as we progress on into the capsule boats. Most everything we run today is all encapsulated. They're on oxygen. They have a 5-point harness just like NASCAR has. They're very, very well protected. And when you think back years ago, Hank, as you mentioned or brought up, it's really progressed a long ways. And we do have some of those old pictures. And one of the memories that
I think we've got them in the Hall of Fame. I know we do. We've got some of the pictures.
we put a few
sports,
over at the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, at the Polk County Sports Hall of Fame in Auburndale at our complex there.
Well, the other day I was reminiscing about Al Lodwick, who Lodwick Airport and where the Tigers train now, lived across the street from us. And Al had a boat that was called the Copperhead. And Mark, you like the Jersey Skiff so much, you would have loved this boat. It was an inboard, and it didn't run on the water. It just leaped. It would porpoise all the way around that lake and just beat the pants off of everybody. But I think half the time it was airborne. So you would have enjoyed that boat. So we've come a long ways.
Well, Gene, this is a family-friendly, truly a spectator event. You know, it is.
That's true.
Showcases Polk County to the world. The classes of boats that you have this year. Okay. First question I'm going to ask: do you have Jersey skiffs? But then the next, not question, but request. Tell us a little bit about the other classes.
Well,
we'll
time out
always-
for 1 second,
Okay.
Gene. Just for our listening audience.
Okay.
Can you explain what a Jersey skiff is so that they know what he loves about this boat, and they are fun to watch?
Well, the reason Mark likes them so much is for years in New Jersey they used them to run liquor during Prohibition, and they were actually they rode them, and they are a skiff. And what happened was that the feds got to the point where they could catch up with them because they were motorized. So they just dropped a V8 engine into these things, and the boat really, the skiff was not really designed to have a V8 inboard engine in it, but then they could outrun the feds, and so that's how they got started, and they're fun to watch. Mark is a big fan of them, as well as so many people, because I call them the clowns. They basically go 80 miles an hour. They have two people, one runs the throttle, the other the steering. They have cages in them because they come up on their sides, and the reason for the cages is because the boat next door to it, if it comes up, or right next to it comes up with its prop, it has a tendency to chew up the people in the boat next to it. So they put cages on them, And so there you are. There's the Jersey skiffs, and it's a very, very popular class.
Yeah.
Everybody loves them.
Yeah, they're loud, and it's a gas, and it's right there on Lake Howling. And there's not a bad seat in
there's
the,
not
on the
a
whole
bad seat
lake.
in the
but
whole place.
Gene, you've got some other boats. You mentioned the Jersey skiffs go 80 miles an hour, but you've got boats that are going over 100 and 120.
Well, we
140s,
we have a class that we're adding this year. It's called the Grand National Hydro. And you mentioned earlier, we're now, the Orange Cup Regatta is the largest inboard hydroplane race in the state of Florida. And thanks to sports marketing, we have been able to grow this event to larger and larger and larger. In fact, one of my major concerns today is where are we going to put all these people? We have boats actually coming from Seattle, Canada, from all over the country headed this way. And when they come with very, very big rigs. The class we're adding, the Grand National or Hydro, it's a 150 mile an hour boat.
Wow.
They're about 2,800 pounds. They're a larger boat. It's a big hydroplane. They're all encapsulated, as I said earlier. We're really excited about getting them. And then just under that, the class is called the National Hydros, and they are, again, in the 140, 150 mile an hour price. Most every class we're running will be well in excess of 100 miles an hour, with the exception of the Jersey skiffs.
Yeah.
Do you have to change the course for those faster boats, or is it the same course?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. We have altered the course a little bit this year from last year and the years before. We feel that this course is going to be a record-breaking course.
Again,
so
well, it was a lake of records.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to some records this year.
And how is that? What makes it
We made
course?
turn one a lot larger and spread it out so that the boats don't have to slow down as much, so that they can actually go faster.
And make the turn without having to make it quite so sharp where you've got to slow down.
The turn is more slow turn than it is the way it was before. That doesn't mean they're going slow. That means they're going faster.
Okay.
So it's going to be pretty exciting, and so they'll start setting that course in another week.
Now, you know what's so neat about this, as far as being a spectator, and you come down around the pit area where they are, is to see how these boats are lifted up by the big crane and dropped in the water. So I mean, it's like, where do all these boats go? Well, they're picking and plucking them out of the water, putting them in the water, and that's quite
well, when we're running one class, we're putting another class in the water, and we really have to move because we have 12 classes this year, and it takes time. And the good news is that the race, by the way, is the 6th, 7th, and 8th, and the 8th we're going to have an hour longer to race that day, so that's going to be good.
Oh, that's right. It's daylight savings time.
Yeah.
Well, you know, just getting back to safety and kind of when you're talking about everything being encapsulated,
Yes.
The one thing that they do that the spectators probably don't know so much about is that you've got a whole diving crew ready to go too, that if something happens and one of these boats does tip over, you got a diving crew that's right on top of it to help these people.
We have one of the best rescue groups there is, and they do the whole Region 5, which is Florida, Alabama, Georgia, and they just are outstanding. They're EMS folks, they're divers. We have to have 4 divers on the lake, because when these capsules, if they blow over, then you've got to be able to have somebody go in. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, they're on oxygen, and they're inside that capsule, and if they're upside down, we got to get them out of there. So this team goes around through the pits before the races start, and they learn how to open everybody's canopy, so they know exactly what to do. Some of the boats, as we get into these larger hydroplanes like this Grand National Hydro, they have actually a door on the bottom, so that if they're upside down and we can't get that canopy off, we can pull them right out through the bottom of the boat. So we have to have all this safety stuff. We have to have ambulance on site. If that ambulance is not there, we cannot race. All these people are well trained, extremely well trained. I'm glad you brought that up.
That's a power squadron group, isn't there a part of it?
Well, we have the power squadron helps us with 4 boats on the lake, and bless their hearts, they are out there for long periods of time. And they're there, and they have a member of APBA in each boat, and they are like the referees, so that if somebody cuts inside of a buoy, they're out of there, you know. And that's what they watch for. They also are there for breakdowns to help us tow anybody in off of the course. So we have the power squadron. They also do our concessions. We felt like that was a great
way to give back.
Yeah, and so we do that. You mentioned the pit area, Hank. Unfortunately, we're not allowed to let the public into the hot pit area because of insurance purposes. And but there's plenty of areas to view,
To watch what's going on.
to see what's going on inside the pit area. We have to fence that whole area in, and we have to police it very, very strongly. Because we're moving boats. You mentioned we're craning those boats in, and we cannot allow anybody, including drivers or any of their
Down
people,
by
we
where they
cannot
are.
have anybody underneath a boat while that thing's being moved.
Yeah.
Well, the race itself, you know, I mentioned a little earlier that it's family friendly
Right.
and so
Very
on.
much so.
Just to kind of review, the racing actually, or qualifying and practice starts on Friday.
Well, what we do on Friday, everyone on Friday morning, we go to the YMCA. They've been gracious enough to allow us to use their pool. We send the divers over. They have a capsule. Everybody has to have capsule training because they've got to learn how to get out of capsules. And so that's part that they can't race unless they take this, what they call a dunk test. We used to do it off the lake.
And every driver has to do this?
Yes.
Wow.
And we used to do it off the dock there at Lake Hollingsworth till I made a mistake of telling them there was an alligator underneath it one day, and that ended that. We don't do it anymore. Then they wanted to know if there was any alligators in the YMCA pool. But anyway, we do that Friday morning. They all have to go through the dunk test to be certified. Then we start practice on Friday, which is the 5th. The boats actually will start coming in on the 4th. They'll start showing up on the 4th. But we do practice on the 5th. The reason the Orange Cup has been so popular in all the races in the United States is the fact that it's actually 2 races. We have one
Yes.
race on Saturday and another race on Sunday, so they get twice the point.
2 qualifying races.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, once again, Gene, we've got 15 different classes of races, and it's on Lake Hollingsworth, March 5th.
Well, 6, 7,
6,
8.
7, and 8,
Yeah.
March 6, 7, and 8. So make sure that you want a family-friendly,
Yeah.
fun environment,
Bring
food,
your lawn
beverage.
chairs, blankets, and you
Yes.
can hang out all along that by Florida Southern and
Well,
by
actually,
the
on
country
it's
club
better
and-
on the south side of the lake, Hank, because we now have moved that course down that way. But I haven't even been on the other side. I have no idea what the race looks like on around Florida Southern.
Well, so
Well,
that's
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 exciting.
really where you get to go and see some great racing, have a great time. Gene, once again, thanks so much for bringing the 82nd annual Orange Cup Regatta to Polk County and to Lakeland.
Well,
It's an icon.
Thank you for
Just like you.
Yeah, thank you for having us, and of course, we love to talk about it. And I will tell you this: our success couldn't be what it is without Polk County sports marketing.
Gene, thank you so
thank
much.
you.
We
Thank you.
appreciate you. Appreciate Pat as well.
Yes.
The brains behind this operation.
So do I.
Yeah. Well, everybody, we were talking about it. You're probably wondering, wow, what goes on down there? We're going to show you. We've got some great footage here. Stick around, everybody, for segment number 3 right after this.
This is the 78th running of the Orange Cup Regatta. It's probably the second oldest sporting event in Polk County, only to the Detroit Tigers. Tremendous turnout. The weather is fantastic. We're really excited today because we have a record course out here, and we're really expecting to set a couple of world records. Both in the 5-liter and the 2.5 liter. So it's a great day. We've got a tremendous turnout. We had over 75 entries, and it's probably one of the largest we've had in the last 15 or 20 years. So it must be awfully cold up north because the weather's perfect.
We're down here in Lakeland, Florida, get a little of this beautiful weather. It came down from up near Philadelphia. And I'm here with my buddies that helped build the boat, and they also race in the Jersey Speed Skiff class. And they'll have 2 or 3 boats that they fabricated will be out here racing. We're here with Roger Harris, wave Raj, and Jim Batula. But they build beautiful boats. We've won a lot of races. Roger's won races driving, and Jimmy over here's won a bunch of races. But we're here there's about 6 of us down here with these Jersey Speed Skiffs. About 80-mile-an-hour boat, 2 people in the boat, driver and a riding mechanic. And we'll go around 5 times around a 1-mile course here on the lake. Beautiful setup. Spectators can see everything that's going on, and the weather's beautiful. It's a good deal, and they do this every year, 1st of March. It's a tradition. They've been doing it 70, 80 years, and we love coming down here. We love the area. The people in this area are great, and we're going to hope to go out and cover the field and do a great job. We got about 320 horsepower underneath the hatch here, a little prop in the back and rudder to direct the boat. And that's about all we do. We go around 5 times, and it's a blast. Have a great time.
A lot of people in my family have raced, like all my cousins, my dad's sister, my dad's brother. And then my mom raced when she was younger, and my aunt raced when she was younger too. And so I pretty much just grew up at the races. Like my first race that I went to was like when I was 3 months old, and like I've loved it ever since. So my dad got me into the boat, and I just started going. Well, my grandpa made that last year during the winter time, and we just got it painted about over the winter. I won every race I went to last year except one.
Welcome back to Sports Central, everybody. Well, that's the thrills and spills of powerboat racing on Lake Hollingsworth. And again, that's 6, 7, and 8 of March 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Yeah, coming up.
Great stuff. Thanks to Gene Engle and all he does for Polk County is
what
just
a history we have with that event. And hey, we want to thank the folks at BSN Sports for sponsoring our 3rd segment here on Sports Central.
Well, we have an unusual event. We did it last year and I believe the year before, but we call them mine sports. What the heck is a mine sport? Well, one of the mine sports that are or esports, a lot of people refer to those types of competitive events as esports. And one of those is what's called a spelling bee. Now, we're all familiar with spelling bee. You know, Hank got tossed out after the first round every year when he was in grade school, so he never got to go to the top.
What country is that from? How do they do all that? All these kids figure these words out, but this is just kind of.
Oh, did we thank BSN Sports, by the way?
I already thanked BSN Sports.
I saw Jack Simon yesterday out at the Major League Scramble, and Under Armour, again, involved. Great organization.
Great partners.
Yep, very, very pleased. Anyhow,
as I was saying, we have Ray Lynn, one of our staff at Sports Marketing, has little cards with all these different words taped on her office window, and it's just amazing to look at the word, because a lot of them I haven't heard of, and the origin of the word, and how these kids, when they spell the word, they ask these questions because that really gives them clues of how the word is pronounced and spelled. So it's fascinating to watch these young kids compete in this because of the knowledge and the background that they get.
Well, there's
really unbelievable.
Yeah, there's actually a system that has been around for a long time, and trying to figure out how a word is
derived.
Yeah, and all this type of stuff. And the acronym is CSSD. So the context of the sentence that the word is in, the sound of the word, the structure, and then you go to the dictionary. That's the way it's done.
And these kids know this stuff.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
CSSD. No, context, sound, structure, and dictionary. Yeah. Remember that from
I never got
40 years ago when I was in college.
Yeah, 40 years ago when you were in college. That's about right.
40. Funny man. Hey, we got to get to our special
Let's
guest.
get to our special guest.
And
Another one of the team here
Well,
joining us
yeah,
on Sports
and this guy's a
Central.
wordsmith in his own right,
Yes, he
because he
is.
is a senior editor with the Tampa Bay Times, had a staff of 15 people, and all of this type of stuff, and has been around the block a few times when it comes to media. And there's nobody that knows media and the written word, and this. Yeah, what's the other one? Anyway.
Dictionary.
Man, I could. Never mind.
There we go.
Sometimes
folks.
you just
gotta kind of turn the page.
Anyway, Jack Cormier. How you doing, buddy?
Good. Good to be here.
Yeah, you had your hands full yesterday handling
that
Major
was,
League Scramble. And
yeah, that was quite an event. It always a fun time out there.
Well, I'm going to bring up something that you did last year at the Major League Scramble that got Polk County national and worldwide attention for one of the ball players and what he does, part of his missionary work. And just tell us about that. Just give you a little bit out your background.
Okay, well, it's I was with the Tampa Tribune for almost 20 years. The great thing about the Major League Scramble is it gives us a chance to interact with these players, letting our hair down. Everyone lets their hair down but me.
Yeah.
And so getting to talk to Matt Boyd there on the course, he was trying to get attention for a home that he has in Uganda. He had taken over after reading an article on the human trafficking, sex trafficking. So talked to him real quick, said, this is a great story. Why don't we, we'll get together, we'll get the beats down real fast, and I'll see if I can get you any attention. Roughly a week later, I'm at one of my wife's volleyball tournaments, and Buddy sends me a link, and there it is, he's on People magazine. So it was that quick that we were able to take what he had given us for information-wise, get out to local media, and then it just built upon itself. It was almost $1 million of free publicity that his home got out of that, and all for a good cause, which is really the thing with that. So.
Well, it's just another reason we do the things, or you do the things that you do. But anyway, let's get on to what we're here for, and that is the spelling bee. The script spelling bee. This is impressive.
Yep. So this will be the second Central Florida spelling bee. 50 schools, 15 counties. From 1st to 8th grade. It's a chance for these kids. I like to say that this is we deal with the smart kids with this one. Normally we deal with athletes, sports, baseball, that sort of thing. It's the same amount of dedication that these kids have to put in to be champion spellers. In fact, it almost breaks down the same way, where they have tutors. You know, a lot of your great baseball players, they have a hitting coach,
Yeah.
they have a pitching coach, they have a fielding coach. These kids are no different. They have spelling tutors, they may have a Latin tutor that takes them through, so they'll be able to understand the backgrounds and the way to conjugate the different words and drill them. And so these kids show up. They are the athletes of their field, and they get to challenge each other to see who will come out on top.
Now, this just amazed me that it starts in first grade.
First through eighth
What
grade.
kind of words can kids spell in first grade?
We had third graders there last year who hung toward the last rounds. You know, really impressive.
Now, are they competing in their age group, or is they?
No, it's wide open.
It's wide open. It's like
So-
the open division, and
Yep.
you jump in, and wow.
So Neil Dave, who won last year, happened to be an eighth grader. But there were, you know, underclassmen right there with him,
Hanging
neck
in
and
there.
neck. You know, it was really impressive.
Jeez. Well, the event itself, can people actually come and watch it?
Yeah, 9 o'clock in the morning at Lake Eva. It's free. Come, show up. Hopefully your kids will still be in school. So don't
Lake
bring the
Eva's
kids.
in Haines City.
In Haines City.
So it's a big convention meeting facility there.
Yep, should be more than enough room for.
What about dates? What are the dates of it?
Friday. So Friday, a week from today.
Week from today?
Yep.
Okay. Wow.
And
February 28th.
starts at 9 o'clock and stops when there's only one left. So
It
I
can
mean,
go
there's
on.
no time limit.
Wow.
Last year we seemed to have 4 or 5 kids hang together for quite a while. So yeah, it you know.
It's fascinating because, you know, just by me mentioning the different words that Ray Lynn is taping onto her window, that these kids have that vast a knowledge of this is just phenomenal.
Yeah, encyclopedic. I mean, they come up with words, you know, for foreign words and whatnot, and it is really impressive, round after round after round. This year, we have to thank Polk State. A lot of involvement from Polk State. 3 of the judges will be from Polk State. And of course, Kat from Florida Southern is going to be our pronouncer.
Kat Lowe, who is the Secretary General of the Pan American Lacrosse Association, whose headquarters are now at Lake Myrtle.
At Lake Myrtle.
in
And,
Auburndale.
and she's a communications professor at Florida Southern. So you couldn't have a better connection. Great way to tie partners and partnerships and
Together.
continue to build friendships. Highlight students that we wouldn't normally highlight and really shine a light on Polk County.
And you know, and these are the kind of kids we need to shine a light on. You know,
Yeah, it's, I
we
mean, you
really
fall
do.
into the
We really
mathletes
do.
and the spellers.
And it's like you really have to take your hat off to these young kids that have such a passion for learning, for education. It's all involved in this, and that they put so much time into it, which these are going to be the superstars of our society when they get out of school. I mean, and having these kind of kids that are such good thinkers, and hats off to them for having that desire to participate in something like this.
Yeah, getting to spend a little time with Neil Dave last year, really impressive young man. I think he was looking forward towards maybe going into law. Both parents were pharmacists, and maybe politics. We may have to have him on as a guest, as a representative or a senator at some point.
Well,
really impressive young man.
So the date is March 6th.
Yes.
February
February
28th.
28th. I'm
Week
sorry.
from today, I have to look at my watch.
I was a little late. I
Yeah.
showed up a week
Yeah.
late ago.
You missed the show.
What are you here for?
Where is everybody?
And it's free.
Free. Yep.
Okay, and people come in, they can watch it and all this type of stuff. I understand you have some additional media visibility and interest this year.
Yes, we've got a great partnership with ABC Action News, Channel 28. They are a Scripps station, so it's a natural marriage between them. Sean Daly will be out there. He will be the MC. We will go live and live stream it on their app. as well. PGTV is partnering with ABC for that live stream. It's another great example of how we can all work together. It's a 90s word, synergy. It's some great synergy. This will all come together and really help promote.
And how do you spell that, Jack?
Syngery. Luckily, we picked an easy one.
S.A. It's great stuff. Well, Jack, thanks so much. Appreciate it. And people want to go online, they can find more about it going to...
Visit Central Florida or centralfloridasports.com or the ABC Action News website and app.
Okay, Central Florida Spelling Bee.
Yep.
Jack Cormier. Jack, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Always enjoy his wit, wisdom, and other things. Absolutely. Well, everybody, one of my favorite parts of each and every show, of course, is the up close and personal athlete spotlight. We have Anthony Cruz is our very special feature this week. He is from Ridge Community High School, and he is a superstar soccer player. Check this out. We've got some action here. More action with Hank and Mark right after this. Stick around.
My name is Anthony Cruz. I'm a sophomore, and I play center attacking mid and center mid. I've been playing since I was 5 down in New York. Soccer just makes me happy, you know. Every time I go out on the pitch, have fun, be with my friends, basically my family. Just all nice and a good experience. When I'm in the pitch, I just feel focused on the game. I don't think about anything else. Sometimes it can be difficult. It depends how much if it's directed at you, then sometimes it might be tough. But I just try my best to get focused, to be focused.
Anthony is a very mellow kid. He's very likable. A lot of people are drawn to him. He really sees and understands the game very, very well. He understands that you don't have to have the ball to create opportunities for your team. Much like other sports, soccer, tactically, you want to draw people away. How do I get somebody to follow me so that my teammate can have that type of space so that they can do something?
Practice, we usually, normal warm-up stretch. And then some days our coach has us do shooting drills, passing drills, and just work on things that makes us better and to go to the next level and everything that makes us better and better every day. My coach, they tell me if I'm at a practice, if I'm doing something wrong, they tell me, they help me, they push me every day to be better and better for the next level. Most difficult part, probably stamina-wise, you have to run a lot, it's a big pitch, and yeah, I have to run a lot, tackle a lot, defend a lot. You need to have a lot of technique to be a good soccer player, and it's the number one for me. My relationship with my teammates, I try to have a good bond. I'll do anything for them. If anything happens, I'll be there for them.
I believe that anything that's going to be successful has to have a good, strong core community feel. And again, with our sophomore class, they really have that sense of community, helping each other, taking care of each other, looking out for each other, being on top of each other. You need to do better. You're not doing well here. They're being honest, and yet they don't get mad at each other. They get mad at each other, but it's not held against each other when they're being honest. If you want to be a great soccer player, you have to be meticulous on the little things. The things that you learned at U6 and U8 and U10, you really need to excel at those because you can't have those little mistakes make it or break it.
You can start from nothing. It depends how much effort you want to put into it, If you're dedicated enough and you want to put in hours and hours to get better, you're going to make it. I just pick videos and just work on drills every day until I get it right. And I just say kicking a ball for me is just the best thing for me. My goal is to go pro, but also I have to have my studies, so I'd love to go to college so I can be a student athlete. would be amazing.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Sports Central. Mark Jackson along with Hank Longo, and wow, 3 special guests. Great. I mean,
What a fun show.
It just flew by.
It does.
Absolutely
It's like when you
flew
look
by.
at the timer and it's all of a sudden we're down to 0. But we want to thank the folks at the Lakeland Magic for being our sponsor here. Our 4th segment of Sports Central. They got a game, I think, tonight.
Yeah.
The Magic do.
Yeah. And I think, if I am correct, they play the Milwaukee Herd.
Wow.
Yeah.
They've been
so
doing good this year.
They are strong. All of our pro teams are good. You know, and it was interesting talking with Al Avila from the Tigers yesterday and some of the other folks that they're pretty optimistic. You know, Ron Gardenhire is just has a way with these players. I don't know what it is. He says just that skill set. It's an art and a science. You know, he's just that good. So, of course, you know, you see him every once in a while mixing it up with the umpires. But you know, Tigers are looking good as well, and I think that they're going to have a better season than some of the prognosticators. Talking heads think.
Good.
Yeah, so
we hope so.
We're looking forward to it. Well, Hank, speaking of a better season, it's just honest. I mean, this just like it was Christmas, and now you know we're into baseball, Russ Mat baseball.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. We're talking Tigers baseball. Tell us a little bit about Russ Mat, because it definitely has picked up. When we lost the Indians, we lost a big economic impact to our community, which a lot of people don't understand. But they bring in a lot of dollars to our county when the folks are coming to watch. And when they left, boy, we had that big void. But then we get this Russ Mat College Invitational with what, 280 teams coming in this year? It's
continuing to grow, and the majority of the games are being played at the Lake Myrtle Sports Complex in Auburndale off of Berkeley Road, or at the Chain of Lakes Baseball Complex, which is going to be redone between this year and next year. So we're excited about that.
Fantastic.
And anyway, the Russ Mat, the Central Florida Baseball Invitational, like you said, is the largest collegiate baseball spring training and games that actually count in the world. So we went from the Cleveland Indians. Now we've got roughly the same economic impact.
And these kids are loving that they have the opportunity to come down here and play ball.
Yeah, very prestigious. And we also talked about the spelling bee coming up. That's exciting. That really is kind of cool. And you get out there and check that, and you go, man, these kids are under a little bit of pressure.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
And then another run coming up out at Bach Tower, the Carillon Classic
February
5K.
29th.
Yeah. And a neat event. This is something unique that I think a lot of people would enjoy. Up and Away, the Florida Hot Air Balloon Festival out at Sun and Fun. And, of course, a great educational benefit to that as well. But people have the opportunity to go up in a hot air balloon.
Yeah. And just around the corner is going to be a month. Actually, 5 weeks, Sun and Fun starts, you know, in addition to the Hot Air Balloon Festival. A lot of racing going on. The Chain of Lake Cycling Classic, if you're so inclined or you're in the area, make sure you get to downtown Winter Haven. The dates are February 29th, it is a leap year, remember, and March 1st. You see these guys hauling, you know, around downtown. It's a criterium. Oh, no, it's not. It's a road race.
Yeah, it's fun to watch these guys. They are flying through downtown Winter Haven.
So
hey, and one more quick one, because we've got to get scooting out of here. The Ken Riley Celebrity Golf Classic, one of our superstars in our community.
What a nice man.
A great event
Great
that
guy.
is. But we could not have this all going on without the support of our sponsors. The Balmoral Resort Extended Stay America, Hollywood Signs and Window Tinting, Party Rentals Unlimited, and People's Barbecue, BBQ. What a great place to eat. Just right around the corner from our headquarters there in Auburndale.
Oh,
It's
it's
fantastic.
just unbelievable. Well, excuse me. You know, I can't forget to mention that the Detroit Tigers' first game is today.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so they're off the mound at 1 o'clock, and I'm really excited about that. They play Southeastern Fire. Should be an interesting game, and of course tomorrow is the kickoff to the real spring training, and that's against the Philadelphia Phillies.
Wow.
But since the show re-airs several times, today is the 21st of February. So make sure you check out the Tigers schedule and so on. Don't forget our sister show, everybody. on WLKF 98.3 and 1430 AM. There we go. Anyway, thanks so much for joining us, everybody. Our next live show is March 6th. We'll see you again next time.